Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we've got a genuinely fascinating case study for you. We are going to completely and objectively deconstruct the promotional presentation for a dietary supplement called Oradentum. But listen, we aren't here to just read a product label or get bogged down in a debate about dental science. Nope. Instead, we are dissecting the exact anatomy of its sales pitch. We're going to look at how this presentation structurally positions its claims, how it plays heavily on consumer psychology, and how it purposefully guides the viewer right toward a high-ticket purchase. Honestly, it's like a masterclass in modern marketing architecture, and once you understand these specific conversion tactics, it will completely change the way you look at online advertising.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 4 distinct phases. Section 1 is the core dental promise. Section 2 looks inside their 21-in-1 formula. Section 3 covers pricing and bonus content. And finally, Section 4 will dive into the guarantees and medical disclaimers. Let's jump right in.
So, right out of the gate, the presentation absolutely grabs your attention with this massive hook. Unlock the ancient Himalayan herbal secret to a perfect smile. Notice what they're doing here? It brilliantly blends this mystical, almost Indiana Jones-style allure of ancient herbalism with very modern, everyday cosmetic desires. It's not selling baseline clinical dental health. Actually, scratch that. It's bypassing clinical health entirely. It's selling an exclusive, long-forgotten secret to total aesthetic confidence. By calling it an ancient secret, it skips right past all the tedious stuff we associate with standard oral hygiene, like flossing, and instead offers a shortcut that feels both exotic and effortless.
Okay, let's move into part 1, the core dental promise, and see exactly how they build the foundation of this pitch.
From the very first lines, the source positions this supplement as the ultimate, pure, clean, all-in-one lifestyle solution. They highlight a 21-in-1 formula, leaning incredibly hard into the exact buzzwords health-conscious consumers are constantly hunting for. Zero dangerous stimulants, non-GMO, vegan, and gluten-free. It's totally intentional. This specific combo dramatically reduces your hesitation to buy because it checks virtually every dietary box while silencing potential objections before you even think of them. But wait, it doesn't stop at just being natural. It boldly promises that these passive ingredients will deliver incredible results in record time. It's basically offering you the ultimate consumer dream on a silver platter, absolute maximum results with absolutely zero effort.
And to really hammer those bold claims home, enter emotional social proof. The marketing utilizes highly targeted testimonials, like this one here, from a guy named James V., to speak directly to your deepest feelings of public embarrassment and dental anxiety. This is a massive pivot in their copy. Suddenly, the narrative shifts away from clinical metrics and dives straight into pure emotional relief. It's whispering to the reader, hey, you aren't just buying some vitamins, you're buying an end to your embarrassment. You're buying your social confidence back. At this point, emotion is completely driving the sale. And the health aspect? That's just the vehicle getting you there.
So, transitioning to Section 2, inside the 21-in-1 formula, let's see how they try to back up these massive emotional claims with their ingredient list. Now, this is a brilliant piece of cognitive chunking. Instead of overwhelming you with 21 random, chaotic ingredients, the presentation strategically groups them into these nice, digestible pairs. Vitamin C and E are teamed up as antioxidants to protect your gums. Biotin and zinc are grouped to nourish the mouth. Magnesium and manganese are paired for remineralization and strength. It's a very clever psychological trick. It totally lowers the cognitive load for the reader. Suddenly, complex biology feels completely logical, accessible, and highly purposeful to someone who would normally just skip right over a long list of confusing chemical names.
Then they throw the net even wider to expand on that whole 21-in-1 narrative by listing out this huge variety of botanicals. The strategy here is clear. Appeal to literally every type of alternative health consumer out there. They give you familiar, cozy spices from your kitchen cabinet like cinnamon and licorice for fresh breath, and mix them right alongside complex-sounding compounds like alpha-lipoic acid and taurine. By intentionally blending the earthly and approachable with the highly scientific like corosolic acid and vanadium, the formula manages to sound deeply natural and cutting-edge at the exact same time. It's the absolute best of both worlds marketing approach.
Now, right before they ask you to pull out your credit card, they know they need to build some rock-solid trust, so they pivot hard to emphasize manufacturing standards, explicitly stating that ingredients are handled according to the USDA National Organic Program and an FDA-registered and inspected facility. This is so calculated. It creates a psychological halo effect. Even though the actual product is an unregulated supplement and is not FDA-approved, just mentioning a registered facility wraps the entire brand in a powerful aura of clinical safety and official government legitimacy.
Which brings us perfectly to Part 3,
pricing, and bonus content. Now that they've built up the product's value and safety, let's look at the financial architecture.
All right, notice the classic price anchoring here. The pricing structure is heavily designed to push you into buying in bulk. They price a single basic bottle way up at $79, plus you have to pay for shipping. But look down at that gold 6-bottle package. Suddenly, the price per bottle drops to $49, and boom, free shipping. The presentation aggressively waves this around as a massive $434 savings. By setting that initial single-bottle anchor so incredibly high, they make dropping nearly $300 all at once look like the most logical, financially responsible choice you could possibly make.
And to really sweeten the pot on those higher-priced silver and gold tiers, they bundle in 4 digital ebooks. And these aren't just random, hastily thrown together PDFs. They are laser-targeted titles designed to hit the exact anxieties of their ideal customer. Things like natural whitening secrets and, crucially, overcoming deep dental fears. The pitch confidently claims this digital bundle alone is worth over $400. Why? Because it virtually eliminates any lingering objections about the price. It makes the bonus content seem like it's worth more than the actual physical supplement, creating an offer that just feels way too good to pass up.
But wait, right after dropping the price, they crank the scarcity dial up to an 11. The sales page creates this super pressurized environment. First, they hit you with strict exclusivity, claiming it's not sold in physical stores or anywhere else online. Then they contrast that with an absolute, undeniably urgency warning. They literally tell you, in fact, this is the very last time you'll ever be able to get Oradentum again. No way, right? Combining that exclusivity with extreme urgency forces the buyer's hand. It pushes you to act out of pure FOMO, the fear of missing out, rather than taking a breath and thinking the purchase through rationally.
Okay, let's wrap this up with Section 4, Guarantees and Medical Disclaimers. We are now at the very bottom of the page, dealing with the legal realities. To counter all that intense, high-pressure buying anxiety we just looked at, the presentation throws in a big, bold 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. And 60 days is a fascinating window in the supplement world. It's long enough to make you feel completely safe, totally unhurried, but crucially, it's also long enough that most buyers will literally just forget to process a return if they don't like it. It's a brilliantly designed safety net that makes checking out feel totally risk-free, while simultaneously protecting the company's bottom line down the road.
However, if you actually dig into the FAQ section, the mechanics of this guarantee introduce a ton of user friction. It is definitely not just a quick click of a button. First, you have to request the refund through a support email. Then, you are required to box up and physically ship the bottles back to a specific suite out on Inverness Drive East in Colorado. Plus, the actual transaction is handled by a third-party reseller called Digistore24. So while that risk-free guarantee is loudly advertised up top, getting your money back requires actual physical effort and out-of-pocket shipping costs on your end.
And this leads us to the ultimate reality check. Remember all those bold promises of record time results and perfect smiles we saw earlier? Well, hidden at the absolute bottom of the page is the mandatory FDA disclaimer. It explicitly states that none of this has been evaluated by the FDA and the product cannot diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease whatsoever. It's quite the contrast, isn't it? The emotional marketing tells you one spectacular story to get the sale, but the strict legal reality of what the supplement is actually allowed to do in a medical context is an entirely different beast.
Then, the terms and conditions just completely walk back almost everything else. It clearly states that nothing on the site replaces a real doctor's advice. It warns that individual results will vary and shouldn't be seen as typical. But the real kicker? It notes that the content is based solely on the author's opinion and openly admits that the names and identifying information in those emotional testimonials, like our buddy James V., whose life was supposedly changed, have been altered. The marketing creates a flawless, highly persuasive illusion, but the fine print pulls back the curtain on the sober reality.
So, that brings us to the end of our deconstruction. It really is endlessly fascinating to watch a pitch start with the romantic allure of ancient Himalayan secrets, only to end abruptly behind a wall of strict legal disclaimers. Given everything we've just analyzed, the incredibly bold marketing claims heavily contrasted against these sobering medical realities, how should an internet-bought supplement actually fit into a traditional, medically supervised dental routine? Think about that the next time a compelling, emotionally charged sales pitch promises you an effortless miracle. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next explainer.